Hi, this is Scott Saunders with Scott Saunders Design, and today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to the one I did the other day on building websites with Elementor and ACF. Um, in this particular instance, I've done two things. I built, still using Elementor, but I'm building a website using Gutenberg and ACF so we can see the difference. So essentially doing the same thing, but we're just doing two different methodologies. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. This is, again, Elementor pages that have been incorporated into slides using advanced custom fields. And slides is the one that's handling all the cool stuff. The effects you're seeing are not Elementor effects. They're slides effects. They don't work quite as well as they should in Elementor. Actually, they don't work at all because of the way we're loading the content. So right now, the effects you're seeing are, like I said, slides. So again, yeah. Anyway, okay, so let's look at the page. So if we go edit page, let's look at how this is built. So yes, here we're using advanced custom fields. And what we do here is we select which template we want to use. And we set the settings. Here we're putting the background video, the poster. We're giving it a slide name and a slide ID. And we use the slide name and slide ID for the menu, and that's built automatically. We're looping through the metadata. And if we're using advanced custom fields, the data is metadata, not placed into the content, and I'll cover more of that when I cover the Gutenberg version of this. And we have the slide fade settings, and that determines the darkness of the background elements, the video, the slideshow, etc. Okay, so there's a video template. Here we have just a regular single image background, and then we're setting we're selecting the template. We're setting the same thing. We only have the thumbnail, so we don't have the background video. And again, we're setting this fade setting there. And then we have one with a slideshow. Now, the one with the slideshow is we're selecting the template. We're selecting the first background image and putting in the slide ID right there. And then we're selecting the slideshow images. And we'll look at that in a second. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So there's our load screen, and we can use either our right and left arrows to go through the site. There we go, loading the Captain America stuff. All right, now if we rest on this one, we'll see the slideshow effects. And so that's the slideshow we built on the other one. All right, and this is the video one. And here's our menu. The menu, again, is looping through the data, the metadata we put in for the slide ID and the slide name. And that's where all this is coming from here. So we click that, it goes away. All right, let's go back and look at the editor again. And we see this is all nice and compartmentalized. We see the stuff we can collapse these. And again, we're using advanced custom fields, and we're using flexible content to do this. Because we're picking, if we were doing one sort of layout, we could do it with a repeater, but we're using one with video, one with a single image, and one with a slideshow. So we want three different options to be able to build this page. Okay, so that's it with ACF. Now let's go to our pages and let's look at the one we built with Gutenberg. So let's click edit and see what this looks like. So essentially what I did was the stuff that I normally build in advanced custom fields. Let me have a look at that real quick. Is done with a page builder. Now, well, not with a page builder, that's just what I'm calling it. But here's where we're selecting the template. So this is the regular template, this is the one with the background video, and this is the one with the slideshow. And here's where I put in the repeater for the slideshow, where I put in all our slide settings and images and all that stuff. And we're selecting a template where we see right here, post object. We're selecting a template that we built in Elementor. So if we look at the one that is the Carol Lombard one, let's edit with Elementor so you can see this. We use our drop and drag editor in Elementor to build this. And there we have that. Now we don't see any background images here. We putting those in on the actual slide, not here. And the reason we do that, it just gives us, it's just easier to manage. So that's why. Okay, so that's how we do that. So let's go back to our pages again. So we're gonna go to our Gutenberg page. And essentially we did the same thing, but this is what it looks like. So we don't have the ability to collapse these things. There may be a plugin to do that for Gutenberg. I'm not sure if there is. I haven't really looked. So here we see because of the narrowness and stuff like this. Oh, by the way, yes, we're using Gutenberg blocks, but these Gutenberg blocks were built with advanced custom fields because I can just develop them faster versus using React. So when you're using Gutenberg, you can create in your functions file to tell it which category and which icon to use for these blocks. This one, for instance, is called, if we roll over there, we see ACF video background. If we do this, we see ACF image background, and here we see ACF slides background. So we have a slideshow in the background. Okay, so here we are putting in our slide name and our slide ID right here, slide name, slide ID, slide name, slide ID. So it's more difficult to do the tabs, so I'm not really doing the tabs in this one like I did with the other ones. Those are done individually through these. So if we do edit, and this is the video background one, we see we put in our fields, and then we assign it to a block. Now here's where you assign this stuff via, let me scroll down a little bit so you can see the full select there. You can select it to a page, page template, page type, post type, etc. Here we're using a block, and then we're calling that block ACF video background, and we do that inside the functions file. So I have three categories: image background, ACF background, and slides background. And so instead of doing this like we did in the other one, where it is a repeater, I'm sorry, it's not a repeater, it is flexible content, where here we're selecting one of these. I think if we do it with Gutenberg, it's a little bit more manageable because we're building the individual components. Let's look at the theme here. So here we have ACF magazine blocks is where I put these. So let's look at and these are incomplete and they might be mislabeled. But so we're building these like this individually instead of having to build the other way, which let me see if I can find the page builder here. It's not it. Page, here it is. So right here, you see the, so it says select video template, and that's if you get your layout. Right here's one select template slideshow, and we should see one that says, but anyway, all the stuff that I'm building here, we see it's essentially 3 chunks, is a individual one of these things. So it is a little bit neater doing it with Gutenberg. One other thing I want to mention is this is not saved as metadata like the other one was. What this means is it's actually spitting it out into the content loop that WordPress uses. This also means it's not saved as metadata, so we can't use this same information we're putting here into a separate loop like we do with the other one, the page we built with advanced custom fields. So in order to do the menu, we have to do that separately. So here's the menu that is, again, it's built with ACF, and it's a repeater, and I'm putting in the ID and the slide names. So when we're looking at this page, the menu over here is done or displayed over here. So if I do Captain America, click that, see that. And everything still works the same. If we go to American Look, and we can see, and again, all these layouts were done with no coding. This was all done with a drop and drag editor using Elementor. The modal stuff I built, so I'm not particularly keen on the way that Slides or Elementor does their modal window, so I sort of coded my own there, and it's part of the theme. You can write it as a plugin, but right now I'm just using it as part of the theme for this purpose of this demonstration. We also have a custom scroll bar over here, which I talk about, that's using Malihu's custom scroll bar, I believe it is. So anyway, we use our arrow keys. Again, we can scrub through the site that way. Let's go back to edit page. So it works exactly the same, looks exactly the same. The only difference is, and let me move this up a little bit. Now, one of the dangers in doing this with Gutenberg versus ACF is that we can add other things that are not part of, that need to be within the slides, what do you call it, div or section classes. So I'm going to go in here and we'll see. It's going to add, now let's look at our page and see what happens after we've added this stuff that's not wrapped within this correct section. So let's do view page. And it's actually putting it on top of stuff and forcing stuff down, so we completely screwed up how this looks. That is an inherent danger if a client's doing this. Like if I build it the way I did it with ACF, the client can't really break, well, they can break it, and they can break anything. But in this particular case, it's more difficult to break if you do not use Gutenberg and stick to ACF. Because we're creating sort of like a whole new set of rules there. So now let me remove that block and update it. Page. And I should have covered this earlier, but when I talk about this is advanced custom fields, this is Elementor, and this is what we used to do the drop and drag stuff. Advanced custom fields is what I'm using to create the fields, and slides is the framework in which I'm wrapping all of this stuff in. This is the slides generator, so I can select the elements I want to use, the layout, the direction, and all that stuff. It spits it out, and then I wrap essentially all my WordPress stuff in that. So let's go back, just cover what the tools I'm using are. So anyway, that's a little bit of a difference between using Gutenberg and ACF to build your pages, or slides in this particular case. So there is a difference, and one solution might be better than the other. Again, you can use both, personal preference, I guess, and how much trouble you want to let your clients get into. Anyway, this is Scott for ScottSaunders.design, and thanks for watching.